tribe. Every day is a good day when you say GM. We see them hate, but we won't be like them. Doesn't matter what time, I still say GM. We spread the good vibes, GM, GM. I GM in the morning, it's the first thing that I do. I check the charts, I scroll the feed and look for something new. Line up my posts with the smiling goat, then pause and let it brew. Should I add a quote, some kind of note, or simply let it loose? Reply GM or say it back. Nah man, that shit is whack. I need something funny, something clever, something so that I don't fall off. They'll never catch me slipping, never GM if you're building, or GM if you're rich. Okay, GM, now say it back, don't be a little bitch. It's feeling like a good morning, I just thought that I had to say. It's a good morning, time to go outside and play.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends, and if you're watching on YouTube, do not forget to subscribe. How's everybody doing? It's been a nice little vacation, and here we are. We are back. Yes, I am back. It's good to see you, TikTok seller. Don't forget to hit that like button. Send in those gifts. It's good to see you guys. It's good to see you. If you're watching on Down the Rabbit Hole, we have the full view on YouTube at Ozthecryptogoat. It's super laggy, huh? Interesting.
It doesn't matter what time, morning, noon, or night.
I might need to get the IT guy in here.
Every day is a good day when you say GM. We see them hate, but we won't be like them.
You know, some creators have the lag. Laggy, huh? Let's try this.
Go tribe, go tribe.
Let's 86 X.
My bags are better than your bags. Your bags have a whole bunch of red flags.
Did that fix it at all?
Made me rich.
Still laggy?
Put you in a dit, my bags bought me a mansion. Your bags couldn't buy you a sandwich. My bags
restart, dang it.
Your bags so small you ain't counting.
You know what? Maybe I'm just gonna not go live today, because I got the whole show set up. If I restart, it's gonna kill everything. I think it's because we haven't used any of the equipment in a long time. Let me try again.
Your bags gonna rug in the summer. My bags, they the shit, they the bomb. They let Nemo sleep with your mom. Held by car down on foundation. Your bags banned by the nation. My bags making memes, having fun. Your bags couldn't sell in a bull run. My bags make me a VIP. Your bags, man, that shit's practically free. We just need to let you know our bags are better, trust me, bro. It doesn't matter what coin you've got. Our bags are bigger no matter what you thought.
Yeah, I know the phone's good. It's gotta be the PC. Dude, the other account is just dead, man. That's what it is. It's cooked. I can't get no love over there. It's back up. See if it's still laggy for me. Trying to reconnect now. What the hell is going on?
My bags got me sailing on a cruise. Your bags got you singing the blues. My bags going up into the right.
Hopefully it's fixed on the other end. I tried restarting it, but I have a feeling it's the PC itself. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends. Welcome to the Ledger Lounge. Yes, we are back. We are doing crypto again. Start hitting that like button, guys. Hit the likes. Send in those gifts if you'd like to. We gotta boost the algorithm. I took a little break off, and you know, now we're chilling, right? So we love crypto, we love TikTok. Yeah, exactly. Hashtag FYP in the chat, hashtag for you, hashtag crypto, hashtag Any hashtag you can think of. Hashtag 6-7, baby. Everybody hashtag 6-7 right now. Hit the like button. We got some of that Goat Tribe bumping in the background. I have a meeting with Goat Tribe on the 29th. So I'm going to be meeting with them in San Diego. I'm going to go fly in there. Maybe I'll take the Corvette. I don't know. Maybe I'll fly. Hashtag 6-7, baby. 6-7, 6-7.
Okay, I'm getting nerdy. It's time to switch it up. Let me tell you about my latest NFT pickup. It's a goat. It is great. There are really lots of details. Can't believe it's a rare. It was owned by huge whale. Oh, never heard of goats. Let me introduce you to the tribe. An NFT collection that's really about the hype. We have lots haters that'll whine and gripe, but goats be the greatest. That's what I
SXT is taking you to Florida. Nice. Glad to hear it. Let's look at SXT. I think it's flatlined right now, which is a good thing. That's when you want to buy, right? You want to buy it flatline. SXT is a long-term hold for me. I've been accumulating. It's in accumulation. We want accumulation to buy right now. We want to trade everything else. Space and time.
Now you've had your crypto class. It's time to bleat, to blow some grass. Yeah, goats are dope. We hit the gas and use this fire to surpass.
Oh yeah.
Everyone in our way. We climb the mountains to
that looks good to me, baby. Looks like a nice buy. I mean, down here was the buy, but that's pretty good. So we got the Down the Rabbit Hole show. Jesse's sick, so I decided to do the crypto show. I'm gonna do it randomly. It's not gonna be as strict as it was before. We're gonna do things a little bit differently. Hey, thanks for the follow, Philip. SXT looks good, baby. It's a buy. This is a long term. This is like buying for the next cycle. Hey, thank you for the heart me, Mar Lopez. Appreciate you. Can you guys hear the music on the Crypto Jedi side? Do you guys hear the music? It's freaking fire. Yeah, if you're watching on the Rabbit Hole, you're not going to hear it because everything is on the PC. Rabbit Hole doesn't have the ability to use the PC yet. I'm just trying to get my hours for the Rabbit Hole show. The main place to watch right now is at Ozthecryptogoat, Crypto Jedi. The Jedi is back, baby.
Welcome to the tribe. LF Goat.
LF Goat, baby. All right. Let's get into the show, shall we? All right. We're back, baby. We are back. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends, okay? SXT looks solid. Looks like it's about to head up here to at least 0.5806 cents. That's solid. That's solid. Bitcoin looks good. We just hit support here, and we should bounce up again. I would say the next spot would be 117, where it's going to hit a little resistance. But I'm overall bullish right now. I'm bullish. Short term, moon cycle bullish. We are moon cycle bullish. So let me just get into it, right? The shows are going to be a little bit shorter. The shows are going to be We're going to have the two different shows. We're going to have the rabbit hole show. Obviously, we're going to have the crypto show. I'm also going to be adding a political show, and it's going to be the news, but it's going to be more news politics based. And partially, I'm getting into politics here locally. So I just had a meeting with the mayor and city council. So we're going to see what happens with that, and maybe I can run for mayor one day, right? Maybe I'll be the mayor of my town. I think that would be kind of cool. It's actually not my town. It's like a town that's like nearby-ish. I'm kind of already the mayor of my town. My town is so small that it doesn't have a mayor. So let's see here. I'm bullish, but why? Why am I bullish? The Trump administration says there is a breakthrough in China trade talks. President Trump stopped in Japan on his Asia trip, meeting with the country's emperor. Wow, man, my reading has gotten bad from not going live and reading every day. Also planned during the trip in the meeting, China's Xi Jinping. Mr. Trump said he thinks we're going to have a good deal with China after months of trade tensions. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that there was a breakthrough over the weekend in talks with his Chinese counterpart. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sure, maybe. But short-term bullish because the moon cheese is real. It reeks to high heaven. Is crypto cooked goat? I would say yes, but it's going to move up and down, but it's going to overall move down. We might see like alt season. We might see Bitcoin pull back. I don't know. Maybe all the hodling just keeps it propped up. You know, one of the big issues with crypto and why we've seen these major crashes, I predicted the largest crash in crypto history, ladies and gentlemen. Predicted it, got bananaed and blocked by so many people for doing it. I predicted it on the day Bitcoin hit its all-time high. I think it was like around October 5th-ish. And then we had like the biggest crash of all time, right? The issue with everything is the economic outlook is not good. And if you're in the TA class, you would understand this. You would know what's going on. You would kind of, you know, you would get it, right? I don't want to give it all out to you guys, but basically the economy is not looking good, ladies and gentlemen. The economy looks cooked. Is crypto cooked? Maybe, maybe not. It's sunshine and rainbows, guys. Yeah. No, I do think that this is how things go. This is how cycles go. People are speculating on crazy nonsense because of social media, so it's keeping things propped up. But the crash, people are over leveraged. Crypto is over leveraged. Okay, that's why we're seeing these crazy volatile crashes. It's because of all the leverage trading happening out there. People are getting liquidated, and I think that's all part of the plan. But you have to understand that the prices are up and are as high as they are because of leverage trading. Okay, they're artificially propped up. It is a bubble waiting to pop. Okay, that's what happens when you over leverage, right? And everyone is leverage trading. I'm not. I know Josh is leverage trading. You know, and most people look at Calvin Hill. All he does is preach leverage trading, and you kind of have to leverage trade in crypto because of the gas fees, right? Hey, thank you, Mother Dragons. Thank you for the heart. Me appreciate you. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends. But leverage is a big issue with crypto. And so the prices are propped up artificially. It is a bubble. It will pop. Now, you're not seeing SXT, for instance, over leveraged. You're seeing things like Bitcoin, XRP. Remember XRP? It's a 2x leverage XRP is what it is. Okay. So you're going to see that. I love that you're back on TikTok. It's short term. I'm going to be doing the crypto show on TikTok, right? So I'll still do some crypto stuff. I am on YouTube. The thing is now we're recording them and posting them so that you can watch them at your leisure, because I understand that not everybody can be live all the time. And I like having a life, so this way I can knock out 4 or 5 episodes all at one time, get it done, and have some free time instead of just being here live day in and day out, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours a day. It's crazy. Is it possible to have good audio on the phone? It is possible. Actually, I'll do it right now. All right. I will put the audio on the phone here. Let me see. I think it's this one. Let me turn the phone audio on. How's that? Is that better for the phone? Let me mic up here. All right, we got better audio on the phone now. I'm a little out of practice. I have to admit, I'm a little out of practice. I haven't even been gone that long. What's it been? A few weeks? And I feel like I'm lost. Like I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I'll tell you what, Rabbit Hole is popping, baby. The Rabbit Hole live is popping. But the Crypto Jedi, it's dead. I don't know why. It is what it is. I'll tell you what, for live, Down the Rabbit Hole is cooking, baby. But for posting things, I would say the Crypto Jedi is where it's at. So I'm going to be posting and recording everything and just posting them in videos for you guys to watch at your leisure. And the live show will be, Down the Rabbit Hole sometimes. Jessie wants to do them recorded too, because then I can just pay her for the day and we can knock out 3 or 4 episodes in one day and then we're good. So that's how we're going to do things from now on. I want to record it and leak them out over time. And, if something crazy happens, the world's crumbling and falling, obviously I'm going to go live, and I'm going to tell you guys what's going on. We're going to go over the news. We're going to do everything. But yeah, those of you that are watching on the Rabbit Hole show, you're not going to be able to hear the audio from the desktop. I do apologize, but that's just what it is. Okay, so I'm going to play this. We're going to give it a little listen to here, see, and we're going to talk about Trump's China deal. They have an amazing deal. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. It's the biggest, beautiful bill. It's the greatest deal you've ever seen. I'm 5 times taller than Xi Jinping. This means it's going to happen. Everybody says so. They say he's a little man. I'm a big man. Perfect deal. Nobody thought it would happen. I know. You know what? I knew it was coming. Okay. The moon cheese. And I call it moon cheese because it lines up with the moon cycle. They put out the fake news and it pumps it, temporarily, short term, and then it dies out and then it goes back up. What's up, Bellstar? How you doing? Glad to see everybody. I am going to be going live regularly, though. We're going to do a crypto show. We're going to do a political show. I'm going to be aiming more towards 1 hour live, but we're going to probably do it like 5-6 days a week, 1 hour for each show. So I'll do a political show, I'll do a financial show, and I will do the rabbit hole show, right? But the holidays are coming up and there's just a lot to do. Did they block my comment? I think they did. I think they did block it because I don't see what comment that was. But we shall see. Don't forget to send in your daily heart me. Send in a heart me. Send in a galaxy. Listen, I need the galaxies now more than ever. Okay? Right now, we need it so that we can grow our page because we've been stagnant for so long. Everybody says it. They say, send the go to galaxy. I'm just kidding. Send whatever. And if you can't send any gifts, don't worry about it. Just hit the like button. Hitting the like button is one of the best things you can do. Also, just dropping the hashtags. Hashtag 67. Hashtag crypto. Hashtag the greatest podcast of all time. You know? Whatever it is that you may think. Mother Dragons, thank you for the 10 TikToks. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's see here. There's a gift goal? Yeah, let's do a gift goal maybe here. Let's pin the goal here. So we need to get those heart me's, right? Maybe I should do one on here. I don't know. I forget how to use the phone. Completely forget how to use the phone. Actually, viewership is pretty good. It's spread out on different platforms, but viewership is pretty dang good, I have to admit. And if you like sending gifts, you can send me crypto on Abstract. Somebody sent me 123 Pengus today. That's awesome. And thank you to Docty for the Pengu. I love Pengu, right? Pengu's like my favorite thing right now. Mother Dragons, thank you for the 10 roses. We do want to grow. We want to expand. We want to build up the channels, right? But I've been more focused on YouTube. YouTube is going to be a more long-term thing, right? And it's going to take me a year to get monetized there. They just keep buying it. Hey, just send it in the Discord. And by the way, if you're not in my Discord is absolutely free. The link is in my bio. If you had trouble joining my Discord before, try it now. I believe everything is fixed. Come to the Discord. I am there all the time. If you're ever wondering, where's Oz? Where's Oz? Where's Oz? I'm in Discord. We're in Discord, we're trading, we're doing the rabbit hole stuff, we're doing the memes, we're posting pictures of cars, we're doing survival skills, we're doing knowledge, reading books together, we're doing personal growth. The Discord is legit. All right. And that is where I'm spending most of my time. There in YouTube. Now, the YouTube is playing the music and we're posting the videos and stuff. And we got TikTok here too, right? We have Abstract, we have Twitch, we have X. All these things are happening, right? But as far as like live content, it's going to be on TikTok and it's going to be on YouTube. And Abstract, obviously. But Abstract's where it's at. Yeah, we love TikTok. TikTok is amazing. We love TikTok Shop, even though I've been bananaed from TikTok Shop. Let's see here. We got to fix something. I got to change the music real quick. Have to change the music. If you've been here long enough, you know what change the music's code for. The new change the music is code for do things we can't do on TikTok. And don't forget to share the show out. Share the show with your friends, send it to as many people as you can. We're going to need to build up the platform again. It just is what it is. You take a break from TikTok and they penalize you for it. It is what it is. I'm okay with that because we're recording. Oops, I forgot to record. Okay, we're recording now. But yeah, we're gonna have to build it up again. No big deal. It'll bounce back. It already kind of has. Like, we've got a decent amount of people watching right now. It is what it is. So let's get to the news here. So Trump lands in Japan for a high stakes Asia trip. And he met with Xi Jinping. Let's hear what they got to say.
He is meeting with the country's emperor. Also on this 5-day trip, a high-stakes meeting with China's Xi Jinping. Talk about everything from trade to TikTok. Nancy Cordes is with the president in Tokyo and has got the latest on the story. Nancy, good morning. What can you tell us?
Good morning, Gail. Well, I can tell you that the president just landed here in Tokyo a couple of hours ago, the second stop on his 3-country swing through Asia. And the big news here in Asia is the apparent breakthrough over the weekend in U.S.-China trade talks after 6 months of tension.
President Trump's first stop here in Tokyo was the Imperial Palace, where he was greeted by the emperor. Trump got a welcome fit for royalty in Kuala Lumpur, too, and even joined in as Malaysian dancers performed for him on the tarmac. In Malaysia, the president did one of the things he likes best, sign deals.
Well, this is so exciting.
Including a new peace agreement between Cambodia and Thailand that Trump helped to broker.
I wish you smile.
But there is one deal the entire world is watching for. A trade deal between the two largest economies, the United States and China.
I think we'll have a good deal with China, and they want to make a deal, and we want to make a deal.
President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping have been trading threats for months.
I think
China stopped buying U.S. soybeans and vowed to block sales of rare earth minerals.
I think it's more or less moon cheese. I think the overall goal, right, we've said it a million times,
an
is
additional
no trade deal,
100%
right?
tariff on Chinese imports starting next month.
100% tariff on China a few hours after he
Treasury
lost
Secretary
the Nobel
Scott
Prize.
Bessent
I know, right?
said there was a breakthrough just this weekend in talks with his Chinese counterpart.
Think they're going to
and he said
flip-flop back and forth for a long time.
Threats.
The soybean farmers are going to be extremely happy with this deal.
Even if they do sign a deal, do they stick with it? Are they actually going to abide by the guidelines?
Bessent says that Trump and Xi might finalize that deal when they sit down in South Korea later this week. And Bessent said he also got Chinese sign-off on a deal to transfer the U.S. operations
November
of
5th,
TikTok
baby.
to new owners, so China doesn't have as much access to Americans' data. Nate?
Nancy Cordes in Tokyo, thank you.
China has too much access to the U.S.'s data. I think the U.S. has too much access to the U.S.'s data, if you ask me. So here, we have this new development. It's a little bit of old news, but like we kind of know. So Trump is to announce the new Fed chair. Crypto market responds. Trump has repeatedly accused Fed chair Jerome Powell of not doing enough to cut rates. If you know anything about rate cuts are not a good thing right now because of things that we've learned in the TA class. I'm not going to tell you guys about it, but if you guys want to learn these things and understand macroeconomics, by the way, anyone that has purchased the TA class, right? And you've completed from when did we start it? It was like May or June. So it's only like 4 months, right? Anyone that gets those 4 months, I'm going to continue doing the class, but probably like once or twice a month, but it's going to be free for everyone that gets enrolled into the class before the end of this month. So after this month, if you've been in the TA class, it's going to be absolutely free from then on out. If you want to donate or, continue to give or whatever, that's up to you. But those of you that have been here since the beginning, that's all going to be given to you guys, because I'm kind of moving away from TikTok, and it's going to be a little less structure, or not TikTok, from crypto. And so it's going to be a little less structured, but there's a lot to teach you guys. I want to give you guys lessons in macroeconomics and how the world works financially, right? And you know, we'll kind of talk a little bit more, and it'll be more of a space for us to come together. I am still anyone that wants to get in the class and wants to get up to date on it. You can get up to date, but you just have to pay for, you know, the few months that everyone paid, and then after that, it's free for you, and you can stay in there, and we can continue to learn together. So yeah, so changing the Fed chairman changes nothing. Exactly, because the issue is not the Fed chair. The Fed chair is just the authoritative mouthpiece. I've said this a million times, okay? He does not have this gavel that he swings and he says, this is what will happen. No, it is a you know, what do they call it? Like a group or a board. You know, and they vote on it, right? The issue is we need to structure or restructure rather the way that we analyze GDP, the way that we come up with the numbers. We're reactionary, okay? We make rate cuts reactionary based off of what has happened instead of looking into the future and saying what will be happening, what are we headed towards, what changes should we make to make it better, right? That's the issue. I was speaking with the city councilman and the mayor the other day, and we talked about this, and they agree with this, the same sentiment. Now they don't invest in crypto, they invest in the stock market. But I mean, so do I. Like I'm more invested in the stock market than crypto, but I still trade crypto. I'm actually turning them onto it. And so, you know, I'm hoping to, you know, help my community locally by getting, you know, some sort of revenue coming in. And so a lot's changing for sure. But being reactionary is going to be a hard thing to do. Or excuse me, not to do, but to fix the way the economy works. We need to be less reactionary and more forward thinking, right? We need to anticipate what is coming because the world is changing. Things just don't work the same as they used to. It's just not the same. So they're talking about replacing Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Great. That's going to be a nice moon cheese pump. I will take the pump, and those who buy and don't sell will be my exit liquidity, unfortunately. But that's just the way it is. That's what crypto is. If you're in crypto, if you're in the stock market, that's what it is. You buy low, you sell high. It's like a tale as old as time. And anyone to think to just hold and hold and hold and hold, like, you're going to get burned. You're going to round trip your bags. All right. You should be trading. And the thing is you shouldn't be trading if you can't have your emotions under control. We had people in the TA class, in the Discord, in the trading group that could have won. They were doing well in the paper trades with the fake money. But the moment they went to real money, they could not make a dime because they could not control their emotions. They were operating out of fear and out of greed. You can't do that. It has to be a system, and you got to stick with it. Otherwise, it just does not work. It doesn't work, chat, okay? If you can't figure it out and you can't do that, then you should hodl. But buying right now is not the time to buy for a hodl. Okay? You want to buy after the crash. You want to buy, you know, after the bull run. That's how it's done. It's basic. It's so simple. And any creator that is out there telling you that you need to be accumulating crypto for long term right now, I guarantee you is selling their bags. They're selling their bags on top of you. They're telling you to buy and hold, and they're selling. They are taking profits out on top of your head, and they will lie to you. All right, so Fed chair, it ain't going to do nothing. It's going to pump the market. It's going to line up with, it's a ritual, ladies and gentlemen, and this brings us to the rabbit hole stuff, right? The market will crash when 42 million people can't buy food. We're going to get to that, Jesse. We are going to get to that. That's coming up here real soon. We're going to talk about the macro impact of what will happen with the government shutdown if it continues. So I'm not convinced that we're going to the freaking moon. Honestly, I think we went to the moon, guys. I think we're headed back. I really do. Now, that doesn't mean that, we won't have other moves up or continue with, but eventually this cycle is going to end. Okay. The cycle going past into January, February of next year is going to be purely based off of greed, social media preaching hodling, but it's not going to skyrocket after that. It's just going to continue downward slowly. That's what I believe. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Honestly, I think the greed of people just holding Bitcoin forever means no alt season. It could very well be that. Honestly, I think we had alt season. It happened the same time. It's a simul cycle. It all happened at the same time. That's what I think. And Bitcoin doesn't lose dominance. That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think the cycle might very well be cooked, guys. It just is what it is. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, then I make more money. Don't forget to send in your daily heart me's. I need 2 more heart me's, baby. Who's got me with 2 heart me's? I guess there's not enough people watching to get 2 heart me's. Let's change the gift goal. Let's change the gift goal. Let's do something here. Let's do let 'em cooks. Let's see if we can get 20 of them. Let's see. Can we get some let 'em cooks? And if you can't send let 'em cooks, obviously just hit the like button, right? So let's give this a listen to, okay?
Hey everyone, today we're going to discuss how and why the Fed funds rate impacts Bitcoin prices. The Federal Reserve's federal funds rate, or the Fed fund rate, is a key interest rate in the US economy, representing the rate at which banks lend to each other overnight. Changes in this rate can have a significant impact on financial markets, including the price of Bitcoin. Here's how and why the Fed fund rate can influence Bitcoin prices. First, interest rates and traditional markets. The Federal Reserve uses interest rates to control inflation and influence economic growth. When the Fed raises rates, borrowing costs increase for consumers and businesses. This often leads to a slowdown in spending and investing in traditional financial markets, causing stock prices to fall. Conversely, when the Fed lowers rates, borrowing becomes cheaper, which typically boosts investments and economic activity. Bitcoin, while not a traditional asset like stocks or bonds, still reacts to these macroeconomic conditions. As a decentralized digital asset, Bitcoin is viewed by many as an alternative store of value and investment. When traditional markets face downward pressure due to higher rates, investors may turn to Bitcoin as a hedge or a speculative asset. Second, risk appetite and inflation expectations. When the Fed raises interest rates, it signals an effort to combat inflation, which can dampen risk appetite across markets. As investors shift towards safer, higher-yielding assets like bonds, Bitcoin may lose some of its short-term appeal. Conversely, when the Fed lowers rates, it often signals economic uncertainty or efforts to stimulate growth. During such periods, investors may seek alternative assets like Bitcoin to preserve value, particularly if they anticipate rising inflation. In a low interest rate environment, Bitcoin's appeal as a hedge against inflation grows. Investors may turn to Bitcoin when they fear traditional currencies, such as the US dollar, will lose value due to prolonged low rates and inflationary pressures. Third, liquidity and market sentiment. Changes in the Fed fund rate can also impact the liquidity available in financial markets. A lower interest rate typically leads to an increase in liquidity as banks have more capital to lend and investors are encouraged to borrow. This extra liquidity can flow into speculative assets like Bitcoin, driving up its price. In contrast, when interest rates rise, liquidity tends to tighten up, and investors may be more cautious, which could suppress demand for Bitcoin. Moreover, Bitcoin's price is heavily influenced by market sentiment, and changes in the Fed's policies can shift investor outlook. A rate hike often signals the Fed's concern about inflation, which may reduce enthusiasm for riskier assets like Bitcoin. However, when the Fed cuts rates to stimulate the economy, optimism may grow, helping to fit Bitcoin's price as investors look for returns outside traditional assets. In conclusion, the Fed fund rate plays a crucial role in shaping the economic landscape and influencing investor behavior. As a result, changes in the rate can significantly impact Bitcoin prices. When the Fed raises rates, traditional assets may become more attractive, reducing demand for Bitcoin. Conversely, when the Fed cuts rates or signals inflationary pressures, Bitcoin often benefits as investors seek alternative stores of value. Bitcoin's reaction to interest rates reflects its complex relationship with traditional markets, economic conditions, and investor sentiment.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure that you subscribe.
So yeah, macroeconomics does affect crypto. And there's a lot of influencers. I'm not going to say their names. Fuck it. I'm going to say their name. J-Dan says, don't pay attention to the macroeconomics. Don't pay attention to the news. It doesn't matter. It totally does. It absolutely matters. And if you're in the TA class, you know this. You understand this. We had a special guest on the TA class last week. And let me tell you, this guy, man, and he's coming back on Wednesday. He understands. He gets it. He trades like I do. He understands things like I do. He predicted the crash just like I did. He did it in a different way, but he told us a story. So he worked for a hedge fund, right? He was a hedge fund manager. And he told us a story about there was a lady that worked there at the hedge fund, and she basically retired after 9 months by trading the moon cycle. That's all she did. She made like $500,000 in one cycle, in 1 year, and quit. And that literally by buying the new moon, selling the full moon. That's it. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. That's literally all I'm doing. I'm not even watching the charts. Marco, what's going on? Thank you for the heart me's. That's all I'm doing now. I'm not even watching the charts. I'm watching the sky. And oh, what a glorious thing to look at. It's so beautiful. You get to go outside and touch grass and look at the stars and stuff. And you're making money doing it. How beautiful is that, right? Doesn't get any better than that. I don't even look at the charts anymore. Okay, so let's read this one. This is from The Guardian. Trump would love an unconstitutional third term, but rules out running for VP. Okay, I just want to talk about this headline, okay? Unconstitutional third term. Okay. The Constitution is a living document, and it can be changed, okay? It can be changed, and the 22nd Amendment is the amendment that says that it is unconstitutional for more than 2 terms. Honestly, I think it's disparaging to basically, if a person does come into power, and I'm not saying necessarily that it is Trump, but, FDR, great president, right? 4 terms, right? Here's the thing, is if someone is good at what they do, why should they be kicked out? If somebody's good at their job, if we actually could get a good president and the people are continuing to elect them, why would we not want to keep them around? Honestly, I do not think the 22nd Amendment is a good thing. I think it needs to be taken away. And that's the beautiful thing of the Constitution. It is a living document, and it can be changed. All they have to do is they have to get a 2/3 vote in the Senate and the House. And then I think it's like 36 or 38 of the states have to agree to it. And that's it. That's all that has to happen to ratify the Constitution. The Constitution was designed to be that way so that we could change it if we so chose to. Because the idea of our government is that the people decide what is best for the people. We don't have, a ruler. We don't have a king. Obviously, we do now. And if you've read the book, Behold a Pale Horse, it's in my Discord. Read it. Things have changed. And it's not what it used to be. But I think we can get back to it. It's going to take nothing short of a revolution to bring us to it. But I think that things can be fixed. That's the way the document was designed. It was designed to be able to fix things, fix problems. The problem is everyone just keeps rolling over and saying, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?" That's the problem. We're not standing up for ourselves. We're not fighting for it. We're just rolling over and letting it happen. Just like the crypto stuff, man. People are cheering on the regulation in crypto when it was never intended to be regulated. It was intended for the people to regulate themselves. But people are like, "Oh, I got scammed." Well, that's because you're an idiot. Don't ruin it for the rest of us that actually got educated and understand how money works. I was saying this to the mayor the other day. I was like, every issue boils down to education. It all starts with education. That's the problem. So I think that we need to change education in a way where we actually teach children how this stuff works and how to manage their money and how to actually be successful. That's the problem, is no one knows what they're doing. And they're too lazy to do anything. And honestly, I wouldn't even say they're too lazy. A lot of people want to do something, but they are so locked into the matrix, they have no way to get out of it. Every issue boils down to money. No, it doesn't, because they print money out of thin air. It boils down to education, teaching people. You can give somebody $1 million and they will lose it because they don't know what to do with it. They need the education on what to do with the money. I can give you a fish or I can give you a fishing pole. So saying that everything boils down to money is nonsense. That is not true. Everything boils down to education. What are you doing with the resources you have, and how can you make it better? You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't know what you're doing, you could literally crumble the entire world with all that money. That's the problem, is people need more education. It's hard to get a good education without money. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about basic education. I'm not talking about college education. College education is a fucking joke. I'm talking about basic education in school. Economics in school is what, like a 4-month class? Okay? There is so much more that needs to be taught. People need to be taught how to invest. People need to be taught how to manage portfolios. People need to be taught how to start businesses and build business plans. And people need to be taught how to do more than just punch a clock and go to work. That's the problem. All right. Now to the big issue here. All right. The government is shut down. All right. And this article says, upstate food pantries brace for government shutdown impacts, asking for donations. And let me tell you right now, there's, I think it's 42 million Americans are going to be without food stamps very shortly here. And there's more to it than just, they're not going to have free food. Okay? This is going to be a massive economic issue. Just like when the tariffs hit and everything, you don't understand. You think inflation is bad now. Just wait. So let me get through the articles and then I'm going to break it down for you. But local food pantries are bracing for the inflow of people that are going to be coming. And I agree with that. The government should have never let it get to that point, but that's where we're at. Okay. We have to understand what the economic impact is going to be now, because we're in it, baby. You can whine and cry and say this or that, or we should have done this. We're in it. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, here we are. Okay? That's the issue. Welfare should have never been a thing. People should have been, taught how to grow food and taught how to manage their money and taught how to, build a business or have a decent job. It all boils down to education. Oh, it was definitely done intentionally. Absolutely. So the Trump administration warns 42 million Americans could lose food stamps as shutdown drags on. All right. Let's give this a little gander here, and then I'll get into the meat and potatoes of what you guys need to understand is coming.
When my hair started thinning, I wanted to.
You give people just enough so they don't rebel, and that's what Rome did, right? That's what Rome did. Honestly, I think they want civil unrest. They want. If you're having an issue on TikTok with the lagging, come to YouTube at Ozthecryptogoat, all lowercases, no spaces. You're gonna get a better viewing experience there. I don't know what to tell you. Get off TikTok, guys. TikTok is nonsense. Yeah, I see you, Shelly. I see you, Belle. The audio isn't working. What, on YouTube? Try Twitch. Try Abstract. Yeah, if you're having a problem, try a different platform. There's a million platforms to choose from. All right. Yeah, down the rabbit hole is okay because I'm using my phone. All right, let's see here. Let's give this a listen to.
What these Democratic senators are doing, keeping the government shut down. I mean, look at the numbers. It's 52-3, 52 Republican senators, 3 Democratic senators have come across the line. It's starting to slow down air traffic. And I would urge moderate Democrats to be heroes, come across the aisle like they did in the spring and pass a clean CR.
So Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, as the government shutdown drags into day 27 today, he says it is now hitting the economy, but Democrats still digging in their heels, showing no signs of letting up on their demands. Where does that leave us? Good question for Tom Emmer, House Majority Whip. Sir, thank you for your time and good morning to you. Listen to John Fetterman here, okay? He voted with Republicans in the Senate. He was one of the 3 Democrats who did.
I mean, I'm not surprised when I do believe that there's a critical mass of my fellow Democrats that are dug in and out until there's an absolute ironclad kind of a deal. And I do fundamentally believe Leader Thune is an honorable guy, and I do believe we could have a sincere conversation, after we can open it up.
Okay, so I sense no movement. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're wrong. Good to be with you, Bill. I think we're in the same place today as we were last week. We need 5 Senate Democrats to cross over, to peel away from their leader, Chuck Schumer, and vote with the Republicans to get this government reopened. I think the interesting thing that Senator Fetterman said was, once we get the government open, we can get back to the negotiating table. That's what everybody's been saying now for 27 days, Bill.
Okay, Tim Kaine,
27 days. That's like the longest government shutdown ever.
Sunday, that if they agree to reopen the government, then the president can go ahead and fire workers.
Sure, I'll become your friend.
In the current state, he can also fire federal workers, correct? It really is the same argument, is it not, if I heard it correctly?
No, Bill, you're right on. I mean, Senator Kaine and his colleagues have literally given the administration and Donald J. Trump all the authority they need to do what they have to do to make the difficult choices that are going to have to be made to make sure that the essential services are still provided. And that decision will be between essential and non-essential, which is probably why this morning, Bill, the American Federation of Government Employees, the largest government employee union in the country, called on the Democrats to pass a clean CR and get the government open. This is getting very dangerous for a lot of Tim Kaine's constituents.
Okay, the record is 35 days. We will not hit that until next Tuesday, which happens to be Election Day. In New Jersey, Virginia, and here in the city of New York, and we'll see whether or not it continues. My guess is that it does. In your home state of Minnesota, meanwhile, Minneapolis, you represent a district on the western edge of Minneapolis, as I recall. There have been numerous arrests. Kristi Noem was there on Friday. This is the readout. Since January, federal law enforcement officers with Homeland Security say 4,300 have been arrested for criminal activity, of which 3,300 had a previous criminal history. What is the status for what ICE and Homeland Security is doing in your home state?
Well, first off, God bless Donald J. Trump and Kristi Noem for what they're doing. You just referenced the number, 4,300 illegal aliens since just January, Bill. And what you didn't add was these are murderers, these are human traffickers, and these are people who have committed sexual assault. And it's all because of the failed leadership of Tim Walz and Keith Ellison and all these others that literally had no problem with open borders and made Minnesota
there's a lot of good people too, you know.
They have literally
there's a lot of bad guys. There's a lot of good guys.
Bill, you not only have the 4,300
get rid of the bad guys, sure.
But the FBI has recently
let the good guys
some very serious
find
immigration fraud.
a path
I think they're up to 250 cases
citizenship.
Just, falsifying records.
It's not that hard,
etc. Minnesota has become a haven for this type of illegal activity, and God bless our ICE agents and our president.
God, this guy.
For going after
okay, Tom, more to come on that. Tom
I hate
Emmer,
Fox News.
House Majority Whip, thank you for coming on today.
The propaganda is real, baby. It's so real. That is crazy. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the food stamps, okay? And I feel a clip coming on here. All right. This is the impact that we're going to see because if people do not get their food stamps this month, just for 1 month, okay? If it's just this 1 month that people do not get their SNAP benefits, it's going to be a cascading effect that is going to ripple across this country and impact the economy in a way that people just don't even see. And the fact that, let me tell you what, the Democrats that are keeping this thing from happening, okay, the people that are not working together to pass this bill or pass this budget, this is on their hands. They're effectively causing this, okay? And what you're going to see first thing is you're going to see people not getting their benefits. The average person, okay, receives $187 a month in SNAP benefits, okay? There's 42 million people. Now, that is an average number. I would say most people receive more than that. I've seen people that get thousands of dollars every month, right? Which I think is crazy and a little bit gross or whatever, but it is what it is, okay? The numbers don't lie, okay? Those people will not be spending that money at the grocery store. So what's going to happen? These rich fat cats that own the grocery stores, they're not going to let it affect their bottom line. Absolutely not. What are they going to do? They're going to raise prices. They're going to lay people off. They're going to cut cashiers' hours. Okay? So the lines at the grocery store are going to be longer than hell, even though nobody is, shopping. Right? Well, I mean, people will be shopping, but they're not going to be receiving that money, right? And hold on, I got to do the little TikTok thing. Okay? Again, this. Okay, back to it. So they're going to lay people off. They're going to cut hours. The lines at the grocery store will be crazy. Okay? Because of that. You're going to see the prices of products going up. Okay? All the food's going to go up. Right? But then what else happens? Less food is going to be ordered to go to the grocery stores. So that means truck drivers, warehouse distribution centers, those people are going to be laid off and hours cut. Okay? Farmers who produce the products are going to have a surplus of stuff that is basically just going to go bad. People are going to literally not have money and be starving, and the farmers are going to be throwing the food away. How does that make any sense? Right? Hopefully that they can donate it to food pantries or something, right? But if you don't live somewhere like I do, where the farmers have all the food, you're not going to have access to any of that. Hopefully they do that. Honestly, I think greed is such a problem. They're just going to dump it in the freaking garbage. They're going to pour it down the drain or into the gutter, just like they did during COVID. So you're going to see grocery prices skyrocket. You're going to see tons of people laid off. What is that going to do? That's going to affect GDP, which is going to affect the markets. People are not going to have money to invest into the market because they're going to have to buy food, because the food is going to go up. Even if you don't get SNAP benefits, you're just a regular person like you and me, right? I don't get SNAP benefits, okay? But my food prices are going to go up. That means less money going into the market. So the fact that people are saying to the moon, I don't think so. What's up, UB? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Honestly, it's only going to take 1 month. And let's say this 1 month this thing happens. And it all happens. When have they ever raised prices, laid people off, cut back on things, and then brought it back? Lowered the prices again, rehired everybody. They don't do that. No way. They're going to keep the prices jacked up. They're going to keep the amount of workers low, and they're going to rake in more money than they ever did. The rich are going to get richer, and the poor are going to starve. That's what's going to happen. And if it only happens 1 month. Even if they fix it, they do it for 1 month and they say, okay, we got a deal. It's fine. Everyone's going to get their benefits. It was just for 1 month. No Thanksgiving for you. And I think that's part of it. Maybe this is just me, but the far left hates Thanksgiving. Okay? They hate it. They see it as, something that shouldn't exist. Honestly, things change over time. Okay? And I'm not even going to get into that whole thing, but I think that's part of it, is that they just want to see Thanksgiving not happen, just like how they don't want to see Columbus Day happen. They don't want to see all these things happen. They would literally burn the country to the ground over getting rid of Thanksgiving, right? That's what I think. And they think, oh, we're just going to do this for 1 month and we're going to stick it to them, and it's literally going to cripple the economy. So keep that in mind. It's not as cut and dry as it seems. It's not as simple as it seems. It gets worse. And it's a cascading effect. So if you think that everything's going to be hunky-dory and the markets are going to get better and everything can only go up, I'm sorry, but no. You just don't understand macroeconomics if that's the case. And I feel bad for you. I feel bad for the people that are going to be starving. And if you know anything about ancient Rome, okay? What did Caesar say? He said, give them food and entertainment, and they will never revolt. let me tell you what right now. They want civil unrest. We talked about this with the whole Charlie Kirk thing and how they were bifurcating everybody. Do you think it's part of a bigger agenda, Oz? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the people that are actually making the moves, they don't understand. But I think higher up, they know exactly what they're doing. They're creating bifurcation. They want civil unrest. They want people to revolt because they want to bring in the National Guard. They want to bring in the military, and they want to turn the U.S. into a police state. How else would they be able to implement a cashless society? How else would they be able to implement a society where you can't buy, sell, or trade unless you have the certain criteria that they require? And let me tell you one right now. If they're like, hey, you got to put a chip in your hand to get your food stamps, people will be lining up for it. So something has to be done in order to make that happen. They need to bring upon martial law, turn the country into a police state, suspend the Constitution, because that's what happens during martial law. They suspend the Constitution, and then they can come in and sweep it all up and implement whatever they want. And we are marching towards an authoritarian regime, whether it's Donald Trump or not. We are marching headfirst in lockstep towards authoritarianism. That's what we're going to see. And they're doing it in the name of, we don't like Thanksgiving. They're doing it in the name of, we want to give SNAP benefits to people that don't deserve it. Honestly, I think there are some that do, but there are many that don't. Okay. And